Alright, hello everyone. I seem to be in at least a condition like I'm able to record these myself now. So, hooray! I don't blame James for this, though I am pretty angry with Success Productions for not asking or consulting me. I mean, how can you continue, a podcast series about me, starring me, but without me? Just, what the hell? Why? I mean, really, are you that desperate? I mean, seriously, if I hadn't have gotten James, who would have they got? Ian, my fucking accountant? Oh yeah, that seems one exciting podcast that everyone's going to listen to, isn't it? Because Ian, the accountant, has so much personality and has so much to bring to it, hasn't he? I mean, that'd definitely get renewed for another series, wouldn't it? Ian, the fucking accountant podcast. So yeah, what I'm basically saying, do not fuck with me again, okay? I will very happily continue to do this podcast. But do not fuck with me over it, alright? It's very simple. If I want someone else to host it, then I will choose the host myself. Yeah, it will probably end up being James if it was anyone else. As he said himself, at least one of his names matches the title. And quite frankly, I can't be asked to get someone else to do the fucking logo again, so yeah, changing one name is much easier than changing two. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough with this, and let's just jump right into it, shall we? Alright, so before I get into things this week and that, there's a few pre-recorded bits that James recorded with my phone, which he only managed to unlock because of the iris scanner, basically. Well, because of my eyes being the way they are, there are not many eyes like mine other than his. Well, that and any other cat-like species, I guess, but basically they gave him orange contacts and bada bing bada boom, he was able to unlock it. Apparently they only wanted him to use my phone for authenticity purposes. Yeah, it's not like, I don't know, they could just get him the exact same phone and have him use that. No, it had to be my one. For some reason, they had to come off as creepy and stalkerish in order to do it. Yes, that was 100% necessary. Anyway, this next bit was recorded in the hospital by James, so hope you enjoy that. So, he's alive. But he died. My arms, at least. That's what I thought. Is he? I need to see it for my own eyes. You sure you're well? Yes. Ow. Ooh. Well, possibly not, but, I can probably walk. It's fine. You did stab yourself quite hard. The knife did go quite deep. Oh. Yeah. Real pain with my midsection. You'd think by 2 months it would have fully healed, but apparently not. Ah, well. Come on then, where is he? Well, you're lucky he is here. Great. Show me where? Yeah, he's... Well, I think just prepare yourself. Okay. I think I'll turn this off as well. Turn it off. You can keep recording, you know. He doesn't care. No, I think I'd better. Me jumping in again, and he was right to stop recording. You see, well, Tom, well, although he was alive, unlike myself, who was pretty much unscathed, I mean, the only harm that happened to me was the harm that I'd really caused myself. But, well, with him, there's no way to put it. We entered the intensive care section, and, well, I was prepared for a shock, but not as much as I saw. Tom was on a sort of life support, and some of his limbs and that had to be replaced. He was essentially a cyborg. Well, not essentially, he was. His entire right arm had been replaced with a cybernetic one. Honestly, it looked like the Terminator. Just cold, gunmetal grey. And, well, it just... Anyway, I should maybe describe it a bit more, but he'd lost the use of both of his legs. One of them entirely, his right leg had to be entirely replaced, and from the knee down on his left leg had to be entirely replaced. Also, he had to have basically a large proportion of his right hip replaced. Just looking at him, just picturing it now, it's just... I mean, he hadn't even spoke. I didn't even know if he was awake. Just seeing that, it was hard to even class it as alive. I mean, is that a life where basically a good percentage of you is basically gone? You're basically, a good deal of you is a machine now. But hey, if Tom was happy with it and he consented, then by all means, if this keeps him alive, then so be it. But, it's impressive that they were able to do this. I'm not saying it's not, but just very little of him left. I mean, there was also little odd bits and pieces around him that also, replaced with cold hard metal. Yeah. Oh, Tom, sorry. But anyway, I walked into the room dragging a morphine drip alongside me. I mean, I was still in pain myself from the accident. I think also possibly it could have also been the sudden shock of being woken up. But, obviously, I couldn't even begin to imagine the pain that Tom was in. James was by my side. He'd sort of helped me in. Walking and that, I can obviously walk. It didn't affect my legs, but obviously any, upper body movement, which surprisingly you use a lot of when you walk, or at least when I do. Well, that was obviously incredibly painful at the minute. So he helped me. And, well, Tom was conscious, he was awake, and he looked over at me. Thankfully, from the looks and that, although his face had been burnt, it was still recognisably him. And his head at least appeared to be, fully organic. Yeah, I think that's the best description of it. He didn't waste any time, and Tom spoke to me. And the first thing he said was, "So, you finally woke up from being a fucking idiot, have you?" Obviously, the first thing going through my mind was, which one was he referring to? Was he referring to the fact that I blew up half the earth? The fact that I stabbed myself? Or the fact that I had a son I had no idea I had? Or was it all three at once? Or maybe it was even a combination of that and everything else that I'd ever done? But obviously, I couldn't resist and asked, "Well, which one?" He just grinned and laughed at it. He said, "The scabbing one will do for now." Yeah, well, it's nice that you're awake and, have someone else to talk to. Because no one else went through it, did they? I say the whole world, there's only half of it left on Earth. There's panicking themselves, Donfrey. I mean, you can't blame them, but seriously, the panicking, such a scale on it. And the way that some people have just completely lost their humanity over it and have become merciless criminals. It was stuff like that just makes me wonder, why did we even bother risking our lives to try and save them? This was obviously very shocking to me. Out of all the things I expected Tom to say, that was not one of them. Really, I was expecting one of two things. One, for him to just completely blame me and say, you did this to yourself, blah, blah, blah. Although, the second one, the more likely one, was saying, you had no choice and I was a bat. Although, it wasn't a good thing, and actually did the best you could, but, well, not that. But, apparently what James had said was very sugarcoating what had happened on Earth. Apparently some people had went absolutely savage. Some of the countries and that to, be blown up, including South America. And also a lot of African countries and that, where obviously our food supply and that came from. And, with the lack of food, some people had gone absolutely savage and ravaged. Some places have basically just become a massive mob boss territory. Was worse than I could have thought. And this was an earth that I'd essentially created. Part of me thinks that, well, at least if, they all had blown up, at least they wouldn't have to live through that. Honestly, to be honest, I didn't want him to tell me anymore. I know, I should face up to everything that I created by blowing up half the earth, but just some of the nightmare stories he told me, and how people had been eating their newly born. Yes, you heard me right. That's what families have been doing. Just to stay alive. Including unborn fetuses. It's some of the disgusting actions. But it's true what they say. We may pretend to live in a civilized society, and seem contempt, but take away all our privileges and all our luxuries in life, then we just become as savage as we once were. It's a disheartening and disgusting thought that it was that easy to come. I mean, obviously it didn't happen immediately, but in 2 months, essentially, or just about then, is all it took for people to start doing this. It's just shocking. I mean, the UK was thankfully less affected because all of it survived. In terms of half the earth being destroyed, it wasn't a split down the middle, it was a chunk here, a bit there, a bit there. So half was, well, in terms of measurement, it was exactly or around half, though it wasn't a crack open like an egg, split it in half. No. I've been told that, for these dark, more serious pics I talk about, maybe I should add in a joke to lighten it up, although I think that's completely inappropriate and completely ruins the point of what I'm talking about. And, would be incredibly disrespectful. I don't know, to be honest, if anyone's actually listening to this podcast at this point. Is there really even a point to it? Well, I guess it is still technically being therapeutic for me, which I guess was the whole point of it in the first place. But still, after everything, it just makes me want to crawl away and hide away forever. To know what the human race had become in such a space of time. It makes me wonder, would I have become savage in that amount of time if that had happened to me? Who am I kidding? Of course it would. I've come so many times just becoming a wild animal myself. Working for USP there, to be honest. I'm surprised it hasn't already happened. But anyway, I need to get away from that glum memory and that, so... Anyway, I was talking to Tom yesterday. So, obviously the next thing he said to me was obviously the next biggest and most obvious thing to him. So he said, when you went back and met Dorothy, you got more busy than you thought. Oh yeah, perfect thing to talk about while I'm still in the room. Sorry, Cakes, because our sense of humour. You gotta remember, me and Donfrey are barely the adults ourselves. Actually, I don't think your dad is an adult at all. Even if he is legally classed as one, I don't think he'll ever mentally be. What, Tom, so you're saying I'm mentally incapable? No, not mentally incapable. I wouldn't say incapable. You're perfectly capable, but... well... in terms of how you think and the way you think, you might as well still be a teenager. He was, of course, right. Although then again, I reckon you could say that about anyone. I mean, you don't really grow up, do you? Well, not mentally anyway. You can learn to pretend to be professional and sophisticated and all grown up. Though given the chance, I think we all would just go back to our childhood. That's the only time really where you could have lots of freedom. At least, well, the freedom from any responsibilities in life. Where you could dance down the street like a funky chicken and no one would bat an eyelid. Just because, oh well, it's a kid, you know, that's what kids do, they do random bollocks. But as an adult, oh dear, lock them up, lock them up, lock them up, lock them up. That's weird and odd and strange. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Whenever you come across anything that's out of the ordinary or doesn't conform to normality, well, you just need to lock it up and away, don't you? No, never try facing something or just accepting it, just lock it away. Yeah, that's what you need to do. That's gonna solve everything. Guaranteed. You know, I find I keep going off on these tangents more and more frequently, and that I've got to control myself better with this. Actually, then again, you know what? This is my podcast. If I want to talk about something, I'm just going to talk about it, aren't I? And you're going to listen to it because, well, if you've gotten this far, I doubt you're stopping now, are you? But anyway, I continue to just have a chat with Tom. To be honest, I can't, even though it happened extremely recently, obviously, but I don't know what we chatted about. Just random stuff as we always do. We don't really... I mean, it's the same with anything. You start off with one thing and then just continue with the other. I can only remember, obviously, the obvious. Apparently, James had been to see him a few times. He was still, you know, learning and that, how to walk again. He was having to do that. And obviously, when he wasn't, he was basically just lying in bed. Because, well... I do hope that we just get better. But anyway, yeah, well, we were talking to him and Dorothy came in the room behind us. Obviously, it didn't take me a second to turn around and see her. The first thing she said to me is that she didn't know whether to hug me or slap me. Hug me for the fact, obviously, you know, I was awake and that, and obviously I'd met James and everything. But the slap me part for obviously, scarring myself, she wasn't a big fan of that, surprisingly. Though, I did say to her, "You'll have plenty time to scold me late. First, we're gonna have dinner. Right now, actually, because I am starving." But before I could finish my sentence, she stopped me again. "You are not going anywhere until you have a bloody shower, you absolutely weak." Of course, she was absolutely right. I hadn't realised it myself. But I gave him my pits a sniff, and oh god. Yeah, well, I guess 2 months basically just lying in a bed. Yeah. Without washing. Oh dear, I did stink. So after promising I would take a good long shower beforehand, I did ask Tom if he would like to come. Though he said, not this one. This one's for you to have with your kid and if maybe relationship with Dorothy. I don't know, he didn't really know how to end that sentence. He kind of stopped halfway through when it started to get a bit awkward. But yeah, at the show and that, I borrowed some clothes from the hospital since mine were in a few tatters by that point. I basically just borrowed a tuxedo. But had a nice night. Or at least I think it was night. I don't know, it's basically hard. Details really hard, but went to a very nearby place, the nearest place I had a steak and the juices, it was down to perfection. We all obviously caught up. I didn't mention the fact that I knew that, well, she had cancer, but she could tell that I knew because it was almost brought up. Although rather than saying anything, we just looked at each other and we just went on a completely different topic. Neither of us wanted to talk about it, and to be honest, I didn't really want to anyway. It's just maybe another day. At the moment, I just want to spend time with her and obviously spend time with James, get to know him properly. So yeah, Dorothy's gift turned out to be the best gift she could have ever given me. You might ask why. Well, obviously, it just gives me a sense of purpose, really. I know it may sound sad, juvenile or whatever, but it gives me just purpose, a reason to live, and just, someone to look after. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bloody baby him, for God's sake. And I don't want to be intrusive in that because of, although yes, he is clearly genetically he's my son, but he's had 13 years not knowing me, so I just don't want to come all down hard on him like that. But we'll see how things go. Hopefully things will get better now. Hopefully. Although, who am I kidding? Life is a fucking roller coaster that goes up and down all the time, except the drops seem more extreme. You've just got to hold on tight.